So we're gonna. It is a it. Am I quiet or is the whole thing quiet? What's going on? Give me some feedback here, so that I can tell Swafford to do whatever. Okay, sound fine. Sound fine. Yeah, you might just be not used to me talking because I talk kind of quiet, I guess. Okay, whole thing. Maybe turn your volume up. uh, Thanks everybody for being here. Swafford will return shortly, and we'll play Elden Ring. Yeah. Be thinking about bosses in either like Southern Limgrave or the Weeping Peninsula that you think would be fun for me and Swaff to hit. If we have time, we're gonna take some like boss requests, like we did last week. Ted, yeah, the barbarian woman is good. Yeah, what's up?
I did not necessarily expect you to try to fill all that time. Sorry to put that on you.
It's okay.
But I am back. I have a glass of water. I have taken several breaths. Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Welcome to the Boomer stream.
Welcome to the Boomer stream. These Elden Ring streams, they're just starting so smoothly. I don't really know how we could possibly do any better. But yes, as people can see on screen, the build has come together. The buff Ice Warrior now has a big sword and can do... Also has a spear. Check out the spear. Can do some ice things. Very nice. But yeah, tonight we are going to, as Cam probably already said off mic, going to go to Fort Height. We're going to Castle Morn. We're going to do Margit. We're going to see some people going insane with fire coming out of their eyes. And hopefully we'll have time to take boss requests too if people have got them. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm on a horse and I'm riding to the one and only Great Kenneth Height.
Yo, I'll meet you at Fort Height.
Yeah. Has anybody given boss requests?
No, but I told people to be thinking about it. Cool. Also, Fenrir is here too. Hello, Fenrir.
Hello. Thank you for bearing with the Boomer stream.
You know, I am of the opinion personally, and so I understand, like, kind of your frustration here, that, like, if computer doesn't do what it's supposed to do within about 15 seconds,
you bonk it.
I become, like, inconsolably enraged at computer. So
yeah.
I don't, it's like, yeah.
I've done a lot of introspection recently on, like, what types of things make me angry? You know, like what are the like the commonalities of the things that tend to make me angry? And what I've found is that anytime something, like, I understand how to do it intellectually, but it's just not happening physically, it makes me extremely upset. Which is why Donkey Kong Country is one of the most frustrating games in the world to me. Because like those barrel puzzles, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I can only actually get it 1 out of like 20 times or something.
Yeah, there's some of the solo stuff in Splatoon 3.
Yeah,
where it's kind of like as soon as you kind of hit the level, you sort of understand what you have to do.
Yeah,
but it's kind of testing your ability to do that. So right. I think I see what you're saying. I think for me, it's more like, you know, one of those born to walk, forced to drive type of things, where it's like, I don't like this thing already.
Yeah.
But I have to deal with it.
I have to.
And like, if I'm not dealing with it, then, like, whatever, you know, it's bad.
I had an extremely infuriating day over the summer where I had to replace the frame on my license plate, and one of the screws was stripped, and I had to spend like hours driving back and forth from the store, like getting stuff to replace that screw, and like it just continuously
for your
would
license
not
plate.
Work. Yeah, just to put my license plate on.
Yeah, so like that would have been for me like the fender is coming off of my car.
Yeah.
It's like I would be like, there's no way. Like this thing, like I whatever, cars are stupid, but like this thing to me is, I feel like it's like existing at my pleasure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I hate it so much, and the fact that I am not constantly trying to destroy it is, to me, feels
Right.
like a favor to the car. So like any time that something like that begins to happen, to me it is like, it feels almost like profane or something. Like it's like,
Man,
you
that
are
meme,
only here because
the computer meme. You actually have it memorized. What is it?
Oh, you're talking about the like, all robot and computer must shut up, that one? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Do not speak to me.
So it's like, you are a machine, I am a divine being. You have no right to speak in my holy tongue.
Exactly.
It says you will only speak when spoken to, and I will never speak to you.
Okay, speaking of speaking to people, I'm gonna speak to Kenneth Haidt. Here he is.
Yeah.
He's just up here like a maniac, just standing on a giant piece of ruin, doing like a street preacher thing, but he's just talking about how great he is and how someone should come help him. Here he is.
You've come to lend me your aid, have you? Well, that's very kind,
but then he's racist. He finds out I'm tarnished, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess you could help me." Nobility is no prerequisite to serving the true order.
Next in line is the rightful ruler of Limgrave, young tarnished.
And like this whole Kenneth Haidt story is kind of going to be, I think most people's first brush with like the way this game is playing with colonialism and bigotry and things like that. So I think, okay, what am I waiting for? A kiss goodbye. So I kind of didn't listen to him because I've heard him a million times, but he's telling me to go through this forest and take back his fort. I don't think he gives any specifics on how it has been taken, right?
No, he doesn't. He's just like, yeah.
But we're later going to find out, or very soon going to find out, that he had like all these demi-humans living in his fort. I am a little confused as to why he had the demi-humans living in his fort. But they have now been kicked out.
Yeah, there's like a whole thing of like some of the like cavalier. This is something that's kind of interesting about this game, is that I feel like a lot of things are kind of presented in Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula and then like never revisited in a way that like is kind of strange. Like one of them is like the grafting thing, right? Like you kind of get the sense like, oh man.
Well, I think
kind
that's
of
just
like,
because that's Godric's thing, and he's like, kind of pathetic in that way, right?
But like it reminds me kind of like of the Pus of Man in Dark Souls 3, where it's like you're like, oh man, this is like something crazy that's going on. And like people talk about, oh, like grafting is like this profane art. It's like disgusting, and you know, people when they seek power, they do this thing. And so I figured like you'd go through the game and there'd be more people who attempted to do stuff like that.
Especially because there's a lot of stuff with limbs and fingers and stuff in the game.
And it's just him, and then the copy of his boss fight later.
Right.
And then the same thing goes for like the demi-humans. Like there is a little bit of it later, and actually the stuff that comes about with it later is maybe my favorite little like bit of environmental storytelling in
the
like Elden Ring.
Thing?
No, I'm talking about the one that you find over on the mountain, like near the Volcano Manor. There's like a village of them. Oh, bro, there's like a village of them. That
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I don't
there's
necessarily
like
know the
wizards that have been
implications.
Yeah, so there's like wizards over there that have been trying to like teach them how to be civilized, basically.
Right.
Like that's like the whole deal. So it's like definitely a colonialism thing
Oh,
because there are
you
some
see
people
that in
who
Whipping Peninsula too, because like you find the
yeah.
demi-human queen's catalyst or something in the ruins there.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like it's like there are some people who are just like outright cruel to them and like, all that stuff. But then there are also like groups that think that they're doing like quote unquote like the bright better thing by like trying to make them like abandon their culture and stuff like that and like
Right.
civilize them.
I guess that's what
Which
Kenneth
is
Haidt is doing, right? Trying to
yes,
civilize.
he's
the
kind of in that
demi-humans.
camp where he's like, I am a intellectual and therefore yada
Right.
yada yada like yeah.
Tame the noble
Okay.
savage. Yeah, I am
Exactly.
next to the Grace, by the way. If you would like
okay,
to.
I put my sign
put
down
your
just
sign
now.
down. But yeah, this actually kind of ties into the Bach thing last time, because Bach is a demi-human, but even as a demi-human, he was kind of like pushed from his cave by other demi-humans. And the reason for that is because they got kicked out of here. Like those demi-humans left Fort Height and took Bach's cave. And I guess the reason that we're going to find this out in a moment once we walk through the gate, that this has been taken by Godric and Godric's soldiers.
Right.
Is your sign down, by the way?
Yes.
Let me check my password. Oh, it's not on. That would be why.
Yeah. Yeah, Ornstein says that my favorite thing with the colonialism and racism angle is Morgoth, Shakespearean irony that the greatest defender of the order is someone who has been the most oppressed by the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's neat. He's like trying to be the good one. Whereas like Moog is just like I'm nasty.
I'm into blood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna commune with a blood god.
Yeah. It doesn't even try. It's like I'm nasty.
Oh, so your god doesn't like me? Okay, I will find another god that does.
Just go find another one.
there are options out here.
There's
in
plenty,
the lands
yeah.
between.
Oi?
It's my buddy, the caveman.
Hang on, do I have?
Do you like that we're both in full caveman mode for this?
Yeah.
It's very good.
I like your sword.
I'm so great sword pilled, as I said last week. I'm ready to bonk. Is there a verb that is better than bonk for big sword?
Whoosh. Whoosh. What's the thing people always make fun of in the Berserk anime for like the way the sword sounds?
Yeah, what
like
is the
like
cliche
clang or
onomatopoeia?
something? Yeah.
I'm ready to clang.
There-
That seems
Yeah.
almost too puny.
Yeah.
I love this little Fort Height mini quest. It's very fun in terms of like the placement of all the enemies. We got invaded.
Bloody finger. Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
I don't know.
Nina. Hello.
Ow.
Okay,
Ow.
I guess I'll help you out.
Oh, there's Nina.
Where? Oh.
She's
I'll get
with
you.
me
I
by
got
the
you.
tree. Yeah. I'm gonna try to clear some of these enemies while she's busy there chasing you around, so that we're not having to do both.
Oop.
Be careful, bud.
I'm doing my best. Whoop!
Oop.
Got caught on a tree. Oh! Oh my god.
Oh, you did.
I got stuck on the world geometry. Man. One PvP loss.
Maybe we should have swapped places there. Although she would have just gone for you, so it wouldn't have mattered.
She probably would.
But trying to
There were just so many people running around there.
Yeah.
That is a good place to invade, honestly.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
ready for your sign.
It's down.
Man, this is not as seamless as like, I don't know, Dark Souls 3 maybe, in terms of like how quick the summoning signs show up.
Are you remedied?
I am remedied. I just got your sign.
Okay.
There was just a bit of a delay.
Yeah, I mean everybody wants to take their shots at Dark Souls 3, but the thing that Dark Souls 3 did like objectively great is multiplayer.
Yeah, the online
like
works
everything
so
about the
well.
multiplayer is very snappy, and the all the stuff having to do with it was good.
I knew that the Dark Souls 3 servers were offline for a little while after Elden Ring came out. Was it also that they got hacked, or was it just that Elden Ring was coming out?
No, there was some kind of like server overload problem, and then something to do with like a denial of service or something. And then I think they just like weren't in a hurry to fix it because they were rolling out
because
Elden
they
Ring
had to
at the
do
time.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a rematch with Bloody Finger Nemo.
Careful what you wish for. Ew. Watch it, Pumpkinhead.
Iced. Oh, I haven't gotten this golden seed yet.
Oh, okay, he died. I had a dead man walking there for a minute.
Oh man, I haven't seen many dead men walking in Elden Ring.
Yeah, Emma says there's a major hack in their servers. People could access your PC through their PvP server.
Oh man. Not good.
People were like, point down. You thought point down. I'll show you point down.
Hey, hey, rat. What about this? Ah.
Ah.
Whoosh. Oh, you're not dead. Oop.
I'll save this little like boss fight guy for you.
Yeah.
So that...
On my way. Oh, is there an item in here? There's an item in here. A cookbook.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Dark Souls on the PC is really like bad and stupid, but I didn't play it on PC, so.
Oh, this guy just decided to come join us downstairs. Hello.
Yeah, he was on his way, but.
Did not even get a chance to do his swing. His big blood sword thing. Oh man. Ted was talking to me in Discord about Bloody Slash, and I forgot to text him back. But Bloody Slash does rule. It's a really good Ash of War.
It's cool. You know, I just got the big old butt slam on this guy. Like, I just accidentally grabbed it. Yeah, I didn't put it on or anything, but it would be funny. I like the fire.
I think
meme.
You should have two weapons you jump back and forth between, and one has the butt slam.
So that I can booty slam if I want to.
See, I can do this, but I can also go spear and do this. I feel like spear is also on brand for Cave Woman.
Yeah, my Ash of War on my offhand weapon is parry, so I'm probably going to keep that.
Okay, so we are now off to Weeping Peninsula on a... Should we
Wait, do you want to go talk to Hyde again?
Oh, we need to talk to Hyde again. Okay, why don't you Black Crystal out so that I can go talk to Hyde?
For sure. Give me a sec.
Oh, there's still some Godric boys up here. You're kicked out. This is no longer your fort. I don't know if you got the memo from your superior. Alright, best way to get to Height.
Ted is referring to his dragon character as a dragon lady with a puppet hand to come.
Excuse me?
If you guys, If the Bong twins want a dragon lady with a puppet hand to come join them at some point, they should let me know.
What is the
She has
puppet
a dragon
hand?
puppet. She talks. I'm guessing it's the Godric arm thing.
Oh my gosh,
which
that's
is
amazing!
Like a dragon themed character.
Man, I would love to have a dragon lady with a puppet hand come join us at some point. That would be great. Was that the original idea for the build, or did you just stumble across that?
I don't think that. I don't think so. So do you want me to meet you at like that first grace after you get past the bridge on Weeping Peninsula?
Meet me at
like
the
Bridge of Sacrifice.
Grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the one before or after?
The one like right after you get past that little barricade.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Where
easy.
Eilina is sitting.
Yeah.
I hope I'm going the right way for Kenneth. Let's see. I think I am.
Ted says she's like level 50, so maybe next time or the one after.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
like,
Ted, we will keep
I'm close to 30
sure.
right now. Well, I think next time, if we get done with everything I want to do today, which, now timing it being what it is, we may not. I was hoping next time we could do Godric, like go through all of Stormvale. So that would actually be a nice themed.
It would be very funny to pull in the dragon.
Co-star, yeah.
Yeah.
Kenneth Height, where are you?
Yeah, my sign is at the Grace right across the bridge. Oh man, I accidentally rolled down. Rather, I stepped off of a ledge, and I guess I landed on the lady, like the blind lady, and it did 5 damage to her, and she's like,
"Oh no!" Did she die?
It made a big. No.
Man, that's a real Swafford NPC move right there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the way. And here's a dog.
Did I clear Castle Morn on this character?
No dog.
I did not. So
I'm excited for Castle Morn. I like that little mini dungeon as well.
I'm gonna go try to kill him really quick while I wait for you to get there.
Yeah.
Because I think that I can just blast through him. I think.
He's a lot easier with a strength character than he is with literally anything.
I feel
else.
like so much of this game is so easy with a strength character.
Yeah, it really is.
I
Oh my gosh, this is still not the... I wound up at the same place I was at before. I should just run through the forest from Fort Height like I should have done in the first place.
I really think that this game definitely hit me with the illusion of free choice, right? Whenever I was first looking at all the magic and all that stuff, I was like, man, this is all really cool. And I made a magic guy first and all that stuff. And then eventually it was just like, man, I just want to hit stuff with a really big thing. Okay, I have killed him. It was just before they fixed his stupid Side of Grace and when it used to be able to mess up. So I had never, so.
I have still yet to do a build in this that doesn't have any sort of ranged magic option. Because I think that stuff is really fun to play around with in it.
I think it's fun, but also, I kind of feel like there's something going on with Elden Ring's design where, I think because there's so many of those options that it's really easy for you to be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this kind of magic guy, or this kind of arcane guy, or this kind of holy guy, or whatever. But there's almost too many options.
Yeah. To
the point where you kind of get to this point where you're fumbling through your spells and stuff a lot. And there's kind of this thing where it's if you just remove all those elements and put all those levels into health and just go straight for it, you have to, I don't know, it's very Guts in Berserk kind of mentality, but it's I don't need to think, I need to kill you.
So, I think there are so many options that it can get overwhelming if you're just thinking about it in terms of well, I'm an intelligence build, so I need to grab everything that's good for that scales with intelligence. And instead, like, I think it is much more fun to like kind of make a character, so to speak, and like brand it around some specific like in-world thing. Like I did a character with Jesse recently that was like a frenzied flame character, and it was a faith strength build, but literally all the faith spells were flame spells, and everything else was like off the table because it didn't fit with the character. So there's just like a lot of stuff with flavor that you can play with, like this ice.
Yeah. I guess what I mean is like there is a certain something about the simplicity of doing a straight strength, or sure. I'm sure a straight dex build, which I'm sure exists, but I just haven't done it. But like where it removes so many of the extra things you have to think about. Like all I have to do is get close to you. That's it. If I get there, that's it. That's all. That's what I need. You know what I mean? And it honestly, it's kind of like a fighting game in that sense, where like if you're playing a character who is like a rushdown character or a mix-up or something, like I just got to get in. That's it.
And there are so many things about Souls that are like a fighting game. Like it's just putting it truly in 3 dimensions. Not like Soul Calibur does, just kind of adds like another axis to it. This just is much more loose than that, I guess.
Yeah.
But you can treat it that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that like there was kind of like a jokey thing about Dark Souls like 1 when the PvP was first coming out, about like people talking about the complexity of the PvP being very similar to a fighting game. I think that you can kind of get lost in the weeds whenever you're trying to make like too many one-to-ones, right? But like I think that something that makes the Soul series stuff a little different from many RPGs is that like player skill eventually does kind of like matter in a way that it doesn't in other RPGs. Truly. And the games are trying to teach you to get better and not to just get better stuff. And so like that I think is like the main core thing about it that I do think is kind of similar to like a different style or different genre of game, because I think it's so common for RPGs now to be so gear focused that and not to say that like gear doesn't play but like not to say that gear doesn't play a big role in the Soul series, because obviously it does, but like it's only going to take you so far, as opposed to like how most RPGs kind of like you get the right thing, you find the square peg for the square hole, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hey,
question. When I talked to Kenneth Hyde again, he asked me if I want to pledge my service to him. I know that this is a plot line that has kind of an ending, but it's like a very small ending. Does it matter what I say here?
I don't remember. I've never told him yes, so...
my instinct is to not tell him yes. I feel like my character would want nothing to do with this guy.
Okay.
So I'm going to just say no. He can't sympathize
I'm gonna pop through chat here for a second. Davinu asked if we're doing duels. Maybe later, probably not in this stream.
Yeah.
Emo says his favorite build is Strength Int, but he says I can cast, but often don't. I mainly just like weapon arts for that. Obviously some builds are just gonna kind of be like, that's where you get your stats or whatever.
It's very. I think that weapon arts are a great addition in this game. Like, not that it wasn't in Dark Souls 3, but the ability to mix and match makes me actually use it in a way that I didn't in Dark Souls 3. And it does give everybody ranged options and let everybody play with magic in a way that I think is really fun.
Ted says, like I said, I think I make it harder on myself by insisting on doing casters. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I tried to do a Dark Souls 3 character that was purely casting and got trounced. It is rough.
Lord of Rot says, I wonder what flashbacks I can give Swaff with this, and they posted an egg.
Would you like to know the backstory of that egg?
Do I want to know the backstory of the egg? Okay, let's hear it.
Sure. So, Lord of Rot is in my meme analysis club.
Gotcha.
It's right there on the attendance log. Lord of Rot.
Yeah.
And we had a session, like a class session, where we tried to define what a meme was. I split students into groups, and I gave them each like a piece of paper, and I told them they had like a certain amount of time to come up with a definition of meme, and we all compared them. And the definition that the class most unanimously liked was egg. Because it's a room full of Zoomer meme lords whose memes don't make sense. And that's the joke. Anyways, I'm going to talk to Irina.
Hello?
That's the joke.
Might I bend your ear for a moment, please? My name is Irina.
Emma says, making a caster in Elden Ring is so wild, had 0 issues. It's way better than my melee character. It was kind of min-maxing though, so that has a huge part as to why. Yeah, see Emma, I feel the exact opposite. Like the pure strength characters that I have run in this game, which this is the second one, I feel like I'm just like steamrolling the game and like barely thinking about anything. Like it's so easy.
Because you can stagger
when I don't have
so
to juggle
much.
anything. Yeah, and you stagger, but also it's just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old or something, but I just don't like to. I would prefer to just like remove as many complicating factors as possible in Souls games and just get down to business, I guess.
Would you mind taking a letter to my father?
I like the complications. I like the sort of customization of it. Oh, recusant shield bearer erg. All right, shield bearer erg. Shield bearer erg or shield burger erg?
Shield bearer erg.
Oh, there they are. What are you doing, buddy?
He's just got shields on.
Good.
I'll just let you take this
frozen.
one.
Bro. You just gonna hit me with your spiky shield? Is that it? Is that all we're gonna do? Oh, man! I was not ready. Did you know that was gonna happen?
I had an inkling, yeah.
Jeez. Man.
I tried to get in there and point down on you for him. But I think the game unloaded before I could do it.
Oof. Not a good stream for the PvP ratio.
Emma says, let me know if you want to fight off invaders. Emma, I think we might take you up on that, like in Legacy Dungeons, where like it can get really nasty if a PvP player is just like really hounding you. Let's see here. Ted says, fumbling around with my caster, now that build guides are up, I can go for good things. Yeah. He says, probably having 20 strength is not ideal for the dragon puppet character. Maybe. Emma says, I was just about to tell you to be careful about that shield.
Is that a meme meta build?
It's just the bleed spiky shield thing, yeah. It's just one of the things people do in this game.
I've done quite a bit of PvP and I have not seen that.
Yeah. I think it's like better down here at these levels than it is at higher levels.
I really enjoyed doing sunbrowing and stuff with this low-level character this week because there's a ton of people who genuinely don't really know how to play the game. And it's very cool to see them learn live with a helper.
Emma says it's not really a meme meta build. No one really uses it. And I was like,
well,
yeah,
Shield
that
Bearer
makes sense.
Erg certainly does.
He definitely used it to great effect. The dogs.
About to get whooshed. I'm gonna have to flip through Berserk and just look at onomatopoeias to figure out what's the most common, what sounds best.
My favorite onomatopoeia that happens in Berserk is like right near the end of the Golden Age. Corcus like does a pose, and then there's like Japanese, and then the translation says Hulk Hogan.
I did not see that. Oh man. Oh.
But most of the onomatopoeias in Berserk are like like UHNNNNNNNN, or like, you know, like FSHHHHHHHHHHH, stuff like that.
Playing with a really slow weapon, like a great sword or a club or something like that, Mariah Executioner's sword is kind of a similar thing, does give the game a different rhythm.
Yeah.
Like it much more feels like it is a dance with the enemy than you know, doing a fast weapon and trying to outrun them. Because so many of the characters move about as fast as you do when you're using a weapon like this.
Fenrir says, do people actually read the sound effects? Yeah, for sure. For sure, they're fun.
I don't read them closely enough to notice Hulk Hogan.
Emma said you need to be doing the crouch two-handed poke. LOL.
I do. Yeah. It is a thing that I am just a little under practiced.
Oh man, it's not nighttime. We're not going to get attacked by the night cavalry.
I have
Do you want to get this Grace over here?
I have gotten it.
Oh, okay.
I have both gotten it and already killed that Knight's Cavalry. I figured if people wanted to see us kill the Knight's Cavalry, we could go to the first one.
Sure.
But I do
this
like
Knight's Cavalry,
Knight's
I think,
Cavalry.
is the one that I think this is the one that drops the Knight Rider flail, and that thing is
true.
broken.
Mm-hmm.
Broken. It's so
Very
good. I had a character that I beat the game with that used 2 Knight Rider flails. It was fun.
This is going to be a bit harder with that torrent.
Yeah, just got to bob and weave. Did you already get the seed up there?
I did.
Okay.
Okay, so story for people who did not read Irina's dialogue or don't know that story. Underneath that bridge, we met a woman named Irina. She said that she used to live in this castle here. I think her father is the lord of the castle. Is that right?
I think he's like the captain of the guard here or something.
Okay. The castle
I
has now been overrun by Misbegotten, another race of thing in Elden Ring. And she has been driven from the castle. Her father is holed up in the castle, protecting the castle. It's kind of like a captain goes down with the ship sort of thing. And she gave us a letter to deliver to him. So we're on our way. And I love that this thing goes down so quickly with 2 large weapons.
It's free real estate. Yes, that's true.
Free real estate. It's about to be.
Nice shield, bro.
Yeah, I like this shield. I think it's not the most effective shield, but I think it looks good with the fashion. I also really like doing guard counters in this game. I love that they added that as a mechanic. Time for a little legacy dungeon-ish thing.
One of the it's weird because every area has something like this where it's like not quite a legacy dungeon, not quite one of the like radiant dungeons. It's like something in between. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to
you
stop
want to
at
fight
the
all
Ailing
this or sneak
Village.
by?
I'd like to do it straight up.
Okay.
Oop. Oh man.
Are you dead?
I am dead. I died to dog.
You got dogged?
I feel ashamed.
Dang, man.
Okay, so I will be at the site of grace in Castle Morn, like right past the.
Yeah, give me a second to zip on over there. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Lord of Rot. What did you get a clip of?
I think it was when the dude with the shield owned you.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you have a clip of that.
Emma said, or sorry, Ted says, I was thinking about the trolls since y'all just fought one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the trolls are based on Grendel and Grendel's mom? Like you're talking about yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I feel like that is not, the trolls we see here are not specific enough of an archetype. Or like there's not enough distinguishing features to Grendel and Grendel's mom to be able to say that is them over any troll.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
It's just a very large thing.
It's tough to assign a lot of stuff because like Grendel and Grendel's mom are not described very much in their thingy.
Which is why you can cast Angelina Jolie as Grendel's mom and just paint her gold and say, there it is.
The movie is Hearst.
It really is. I was talking to somebody recently who said they really liked it. I'm trying to remember who it is. Michael, maybe? Michael O'Malley might actually like the Beowulf movie.
Sure about that? I don't know.
Rethink this.
Sounds like a lie.
Not a good look. Okay. Let's fight the mountain of misbegotten first. Oh. Man. I am not playing very well at the moment. I definitely don't love having a shield that is not 100% physical resist. And some wonky thing just happened with that model. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry. I was
making sure I'm not having audio issues all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Just focusing on not getting dogged.
Good call.
Ah.
Whoop.
Okay.
I might be better off two-handing.
Ted says, I meant like a lot of the depictions of them, kind of the way their head and the main thing are. I don't know. I've only seen, like, the only adaptation of Beowulf I've ever seen is the stupid one.
I mean, there aren't very many adaptations of it. Unless you count The Hobbit as an adaptation of Beowulf, which it kind of is.
No, I don't. I don't do that.
Tolkien loved Beowulf. Are you aware that Tolkien is the reason that Beowulf is canonized?
Yes, Andrew Swafford, I'm aware.
I mean, I know that like English teachers know that. I don't know if Tolkien nerds know that, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where are you at, by the way?
I am going towards the Claymore. Are you in there?
I might be, depending on where the Claymore is. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm towards the Claymore. We go up. Yeah, I think me guarding with my sword as like a two-handed thing might actually be more defense than my wooden shield.
This is a cool little zone here because they're all like murking each other.
Like,
there's
really
like fights going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something about this game more than the other games that that feels like the world is kind of living on whether you are a part of it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a dead
Yep.
man walking. Oh.
Uh-oh.
And you also get more of a sense of the lore as well, like seeing who's fighting who. Right? Because they're fighting for territory almost all the time.
Yeah. Now, okay, so Emma says, wait, Beowulf is canon in Lord of the Rings. No, that's not what he means.
No.
So, like, Tolkien
Canonized
was...
in real life.
Yeah, literally. Like, the reason everybody knows about Beowulf, basically, and that it's not just some other, like, weird, folk tale that nobody knows anything about, is because Tolkien was, like, a nerd, right? And the thing that he was really into was, like... Yeah, a nerd, by the way. I took folklore classes, I know.
I know who
what's
these people
going
are.
on. Yeah.
You can't fool me.
And his whole thing was like those like early European like myth and stuff like that, and he liked Norse myth a lot too, and so the reason that we like have translations and stuff of Beowulf now is basically just because it was like because we didn't have Tumblr, basically.
So every high school senior can thank Mr. Tolkien for you having to read that book.
Yeah. He also did other stuff.
I kind of like
that's
Beowulf.
one of the things.
I think Beowulf's
Beowulf's fine. It's there's nothing. It reminds me of like a Greek myth or something. Like
the thing that it feels different to me about Beowulf compared to other things. By the way, can you? No, you don't have to plot crystal. I'll be okay.
Okay, I can separate if you want me to, but
nah, you're good. We don't want to make it take any longer than it needs to. It has kind of a meta element to it that I feel like most myths do not. In that, so it's a Viking.
I'm alive.
You survived.
Yeah.
Do I need to increase the cuss counter?
I did not. It did not come out. I stopped myself.
Good.
We got one of the Berserk SFX. I got like a 4 Fs in a row or something. Yeah, go ahead.
So most myths are written down by the culture that told them, but Beowulf is not. Beowulf is a Viking story written down by Christians who think the Vikings are heathens. So there's like several moments where the narrator kind of interjects to remind the audience that you should not do this very cool thing. Right. And also, like, the story itself can't seem to decide how it feels about Beowulf as a person. Like, is he this, protector of like, glory or whatever? Or is he just, like, this greedy, like, gold-grabbing monster, just like Grendel? So it's very interesting to like try to interpret, which I think is why it makes it good for a senior English class.
Right. Ted says there was a picture of Beowulf, a book I read of Grendel, and Grendel's mom was depicted as being like tall and lithe with long arms and a head that looked like lignified. Ligmified. And then he said, you should not do this cool thing like Gundam. Yeah, basically. Gundam's got a real bad case of do not do this cool thing. It's like, that's...
Oh, I need this.
Kind of the whole thing that Gundam does. I love Gundam. I love it to death, actually. But it is
it's Beowulf,
a chief offender.
They should teach they should teach Gundam in senior English class.
Everybody should have to watch Gundam instead of Beowulf.
I mean, you should definitely watch Gundam instead of the Beowulf movie with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy choice.
Oh, this was a bad idea. I'm alive. I always forget how much further you can fall in this game and not die.
You know, I recently rewatched one of our Dark Souls 3 streams just for curiosity's sake, because I was reminded of it. And there's a lot of cat ring discourse. No cat ring in this game, or not one that's actually functional, I guess.
There is a cat ring, but to what end, basically?
At what cost?
Yeah.
Okay, let's fight.
I should separate here now.
I mean, I'll only be up one more healing potion.
Okay,
I think
we're
can
good
go.
then. Yeah.
What's our time, by the way?
It's 9:06. We got another hour.
Okay, yeah. We will have time to maybe take a couple requests and then go get Margit. I love fighting Margit, as I said last week. Here we go.
I like this guy. I think he's cool.
Yeah, he's fun.
I wonder, can I put this guy to sleep? Let's find out.
Oh.
Go to sleep? Yeah, check that out. Well, no, he just gets the stagger, basically. Cool. Didn't know.
Oh, is he frosty already? I don't think he is. I wonder if you hit him with fire, does that take away all of his frost proc? Like everything I've built up?
I don't know. Good question.
There we go.
Hey.
Oh. Got him. And we got the Grafted Blade Greatsword, the George R. R. Martin meme sword. Would you like to talk about the meme sword?
I mean, it's bad. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's supposed to look like the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones.
It's a sword made of swords.
Yeah.
This is the thing that old captain of Castle Morn was guarding.
Yeah, he's like, you guys gotta keep. You guys watch Gambo on HBO Max? Or no?
Let me look at the description of this sword. It might have something interesting in it. The storied sword of Castle Morn, a revenger's weapon. It is burdened with oceans of anger and regret. One of the legendary armaments. A lone surviving champion from a country now vanished was so determined to continue fighting that he claimed the swords of an entire clan of warriors. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing as the Iron Throne. It's like a lot of fighting has been done over this particular chair, and so the chair is made out of the artifacts of said fighting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it is.
Did you guys know that George R. R. Martin helped make this game? Here's the sword about it.
I'm so close to a level, it is annoying. Should I go take it to the Castle Morn guy? Do I have time to do that?
I mean,
Does he
we
have
got
anything
an hour.
interesting to say?
I can't remember. I don't think so. It's funny because you're like, hey, your daughter's alive. And he's like, wow, that sucks.
Yeah, I guess I'm never going to see her again.
Wish I was not alive. Whatever.
Okay, I'm going to warp back to, let's see, Castle Morn Rampart.
Okay.
If you would like to check out the Ailing Village with me, you could do that, or I can just do it myself. Okay. Totally up to you.
Yeah, you could just hit it, and then I could meet you. Ted has requested that we do Miranda.
He really wants us to do the big flower boss.
The big flower boss.
That's like a normal enemy in many places in Limgrave.
Yes.
Okay.
It's our only request right now. So
okay.
Do you know where Do you know where Tombsware Catacombs is?
I think I have it already as a grace.
It's like near the tree. It's like north of the tree a little bit, like north and west of the tree, just a tiny bit.
Is it the tree in Weeping Peninsula?
Yeah.
I do not currently have it, but you can.
You'll be able to find it.
How about you do spawn at the rampart, and then we walk through Ailing Village, and you can leave me there.
Okay, it's a bit of a hike, but
is it a bit of a hike?
Well, from the rampart, nah, it's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come.
Cool.
This is what you'll get for not requesting things.
You have to watch us fight a big flower with no attacks.
Oh man. Okay, my sign is down.
Sign is down. I'll see you in 60 seconds. Well, speaking of George R.R. Martin, why don't I give my my deity hot takes that I teased last week? Because I have been watching Game of Thrones for the first time.
You've been watching Gambo. He's going through it.
Welcome to 2014. Andrew.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot. And a thing that has kind of become more clear to me the deeper into the show that I get, specifically contrasting it to Elden Ring. Like, I do not think I would have even noticed these things about the show all that much if I had not known of George R.R. Martin's involvement in Elden Ring and how the lore works in this game. Is the way that he does... Jesse, are you here to talk about Game of Thrones?
Oh, I'm just here to listen to you talk about the show that I made you watch.
I started talking about Game of Thrones and Jesse rushed out of the bedroom to eavesdrop.
Did you tell them the deal that we made?
Why don't you tell them the deal that we made?
Andrew, is very stubborn about TV shows. He won't watch TV shows, but I've been, striking deals with him so he'll watch shows with me. And so I was like, Andrew, listen, the state of our world today, just reminds me of Game of Thrones. We need to watch Game of Thrones together. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, but then after...
That was the noise that I made.
That was the noise that he made. And then after a little bit of, talking about it, I'm telling you, man, we gotta watch this show together. It's good. I haven't finished the show. And he's like, yeah. Really. And so then he was like, okay, here's the deal. Game of Thrones is written by George R.R. Martin. You know what else is written by George R.R. Martin?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. So how about we play Elden Ring in conjunction with watching Lord of the Rings?
Watching Lord of the Rings?
No, sorry. Whatever the
Gambo.
Whatever. Sorry.
Which we did.
We did watch Game of Thrones, yes.
Viewer, we did.
Viewer, we did it. We're in the middle of it. We're still watching Game of Thrones, but we did finish Elden Ring a hot minute ago.
Yeah.
Together. And we also made each other PowerPoints to explain what the heck was going on.
We did. We both had cute little teacher dates where we taught each other things about our various nerd, obsessions. That's too strong of a word, I think. But so a thing that I learned in compiling my PowerPoint for Jesse to understand Elden Ring is the whole outer god system in Elden Ring, which we're kind of coming up on a big hint about right now. We're in the Ailing Village, and these people are Ailing.
These are Ailing.
This is what Ailing looks like.
Ailing?
People.
Is this the people who are madness? Is the madness?
These are madness people. I'm gonna get close to this guy, and he's gonna be he's gonna do this. Well, do a madness thing at me. Here we go. So they do this.
It's so cool.
They spit fire out of their eyes because they have been, I guess there's a poetic explanation for it and there's a literal explanation for it. The literal explanation being that they have been touched by a god who is the embodiment of chaos, and it kind of manifests through flame, right? The more poetic way of thinking about it is that these are people who have kind of seen too much. They've like had a vision of the end, and they realized that, you know, it's kind of too late to stop it. So they go insane, because that does kind of mess with you mentally to think about the various ways in which the world is beyond repair. But anyways, like this whole outer god thing, this deity, I guess I'll talk about it after we are done fighting this PvP thing. Where's our... Did you just leave? Oh no, you became a sign. Very, very good.
They're right there.
Can they see your name?
No.
Good. Hi. Would you like to fight me? Would you? This guy is just doing arrows. He just shoots arrows.
Yeah, good luck to you, buddy. Where will you run to?
Oop.
Hug that Estes.
He's going in the rat shirt. Whoop. He's really committed to this arrow build.
He's doing a bit.
Whoop. Oh man, I cannot believe it. I have died to a shield build and an arrow build. All I do is lose. Stake of America. Okay. Whew.
I'm trying to think of where I should meet you.
Why don't you just meet me? Yeah, meet me at whatever side of Grace is closest to the dungeon we're doing.
Can you go to the Church of the Pilgrimage? Do you have that one?
I can.
The north one? The north church thingy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just go there.
I'm going to launch back into deity talk, if that is okay. So,
yeah, sure.
In explaining Elden Ring shit, cuss. Hold on. I'm doing lots of bad things tonight. In explaining Elden Ring information to Jesse, I had to do a lot of like piecing together the lore for myself in ways I didn't understand. And one thing that became much clearer to me the more I read about it is the whole like outer god system, which is something that I haven't really seen in a lot of other fantasy media. Like there are gods like Queen Marika, and there are demigods like Marika's children, but there are also gods that are kind of like higher than Marika, called the outer gods, and she serves one called the Greater Will. And the way the game is set up, you are meant to like infer at first, or assume, I guess, that that is the only outer god there is. Like, we're serving God, or, you know, the world is godless, right? We're kind of abandoning God's light. Because that's kind of how we're trained to think about it also just in Western culture, too, or like Judeo-Christian centric culture, like monotheistic culture. But this world is not monotheistic, and neither is Game of Thrones. Like, there's all these much, much higher, more distant gods that are sort of vying for control of the planet in the same way that humans are vying for control of the planet. Like, none of them is truly omnipotent. Like, they have to have emissaries who kind of do their work for them on the ground level. But the gods themselves are like too far away to even really do anything. It would be like if we were trying to interact with a cell or something, you know, like we're just so much bigger than that form of life that like we don't speak the same language really. And like is that a thing in other fantasy fiction, or is that like kind of George R.R. Martin staple?
So, how should I put this? I think that George R.R. Martin.
You'll have to Black Crystal here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think that the read as written for the actual story in Song of Ice and Fire, the god's existence at all is intentionally questionable, because Gurm is like a big old fedora tipping atheist, like really hardcore, and so he is trying to subvert the thing by being like, the gods like are basically operate in the same aspect as like gods do now, where people make all these oaths to different gods and stuff like that, but there is no actual like manifestation of their power outside of what it stands to gain for people politically in George R. R. Martin's fiction. So, and that kind of is how all of his stuff is, like his science fiction stuff too. George R. R. Martin, when writing about God or gods, he is referring to collective unconsciousness, or like a collection of consciousness that survives past death, that kind of all groups together.
Yeah, the faceless god in Game of Thrones being a good example.
And also like the old gods in Game of Thrones are just like,
that's like ancestor worship.
Yes, exactly. And
but there are things like the Lord of Light, right? Where there actually are miracles that are done in this god's name.
So no. Well, I mean, okay. So this is a confusion of the show. Like really? This is what So in the show, Melisandre is like, you know, she there is only like very little that brings to question her own like faith in what she's doing, right? In the book, it's a central part of the character of like that. You see her kind of from far away doing all these magic things or whatever. My sign's down next to the Grayson there, by the way.
I am standing there and I do not see it. Oh wait, I was not called.
You're not furl called. But anyway, like when the very first time that you get her point of view, you learn that like she's learned tricks basically to make the things look like miracles that aren't really. And
what about like the drowned god, where the idea is that like the god chooses someone and brings them back to life from drowning?
So very fun thing there. Another kind of misinterpretation of the text.
Really?
Because they're like, what they say is like, it's this magic thing that only, drowned priests know how to do, is just bring people back from when they're drowned. But then when you see someone in the text do it for the first time, they're just doing like mouth to mouth, and they're like doing like CPR basically.
Interesting.
But it's something only they know how to do, so everybody else thinks
they're
it's
attributing
magic,
God, like the power of God, to medicine.
Yes, precisely.
So how does that square with Elden Ring? Because I feel like Elden Ring is pretty unequivocally the gods exist in this world. This is a mystical world of like cosmos and divine beings.
So I think that I think that and I say this as someone who has read almost everything George R. R. Martin has ever written. I think that from his just knowing how he writes and what he writes about and what he is fixated on when it comes to things like this, I think that he would say that humanity is the thing that like refers to them as gods, but that's maybe not a proper word for it. It's like it's like a being that is evidently like way more powerful and bigger, able to exist in a different plane, but because humanity needs to ascribe meaning to stuff, they are the ones who like call it that.
And worship,
but it's like not
like an agent of benevolence in one way or another.
Right. which is why, like, we were talking about the frenzied flame before, and like no one refers to the three fingers really as like a god. They.
Oh man.
Did you die?
I did die with the fire.
Hilarious. Yeah, they just, it's more like just like a presence, or like just a thing that is like
Right.
more powerful than a person, and or even the like quote unquote like demigods, or like the Empyreans or whatever in this game.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, just kind of like, I don't know, just, which isn't to like kind of like throw a stick in the spokes of the whole thing you're talking about here, but I would say
I think
that like
it's not mutually exclusive. Like, because one of the big takeaways for me in like making that comparison is that like the gods in Elden Ring specifically are sort of just playing political games in the same way that humans are. You know, like they are not fundamentally different in nature than
I think
humans.
I think for in my view that like the beings referred to as gods in Elden Ring, I think that they would be like transcendent past what we would refer to as politics. Like I think it's like I think it's not the same thing. Like
so
it's
do you
it's
think
like
that we even have enough information to know what they want, or do they? I mean, it seems to me that they just kind of want control over the lines between.
So like, see the issue that I'm taking is like want and stuff. Like I don't even know if like the greater. Yeah, it's just like that. It like the greater will or whatever, like just is order. Like it just is the concept of order. So I don't know if it like wants order, more so that it just is order. Just like how like the frenzied flame, I don't think it wants chaos. I think it like is chaos, right? And so
chaos as like an element of the universe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like entropy or whatever. You know what I mean?
What about things like the what's the formless mother? What Moog is like tapping into?
Oh yeah.
There are other deities,
right?
Like there's lots of others that are not just kind of these standard.
I think
like absolutes.
Yeah, I think that those are kind of like, those are the ones that are kind of like a little too vague to pull anything from. Like really what we get, a lot of information about is like the greater will and the golden order, that is like a church set up around the greater will, and we get stuff about the frenzied flame if you're wanting to dig into that route, right? But like you kind of more get their effect on people and people's attempt to kind of like make them manifest or whatever than you get of their actual desires or whatever. Like because I don't really know with those two specifically, I don't really know if like desire really plays into it, or if it's just like this is just what this thing is and does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. Kind of like how the alien in the Thing operates, or like Annihilation or something. Or it's like it's just spreading. Right. It's just like a biological
just a thing that's going on.
Entity. Yeah.
And like, the thing came back up. Yeah, hang on. In George R. R. Martin's work, all of it, like religion and godhood and stuff like that, is all a human invention, basically. Like, and divinity is kind of a human invention to, like, both explain but also control. And
which it definitely does here.
Yeah, and exactly. So there, I think the parallels are there, but they're just maybe in a different place, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like, the times that religion in his work is proven like absolutely true in some kind of way, it's left so vague that you're kind of like, well, maybe it is that this like actual religious thing is true, or maybe it is that this thing or these beings that worship it are not being completely forthwith with their technological capabilities or something, right? Like, there's a whole big thing in the short story "And Seven Times Never Kill Man" about like it revolves completely around this. Like, it is about like a like quote unquote like primitive society and their religion versus a more like civilized society and their religion, and like the manipulation of that. And then like, but there is a point in it where there seems to be kind of like a revelation that the primitive, quote unquote, like alien people are like correct, quote unquote, about what they're doing, but you also never really get their internal monologue at all. So you don't really know what they're like, how it was made manifest or what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like always done. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it's always done. Oh, this is Cemetery Shade.
This is not Miranda the Blighted Bloom. I was about to say, this is an extremely hard dungeon for a flower to be sitting at the end of it.
I thought we were in the right dungeon. That's my bad. Sorry.
I like this boss a lot more than Miranda the Blighted Bloom, I gotta say. Oh no. I got gooped. The thing I was going to say before we get interrupted by Cemetery Shade was that I had ordered that that collection, the George R. R. Martin collection that has that story in
I
it.
think, like, I've like read all of the Ice and Fire books that are out, you know, but I had a phase where I was like really into George R. R. Martin's stuff, and I like read so much of his short fiction and stuff, and there are a lot of ideas in the Ice and Fire books that are in his other stuff, like that you can see him kind of like working through it, and then like when he does Ice and Fire, he's kind of like finding basically like he's doing Nevermind, right? He's like doing he's found the way to do he's found the way to do it in a way that's like the most digestible and also the most like interesting and titillating, right? But a lot of the ones it's like ideas he had already been playing with.
I mean, that's...
And Ted mentions, what about Beric Dondarrion coming back to life? I agree, it's something I'm still thinking about. Yeah, and the same thing goes for John, right? Like, well, we don't know in the books because John hasn't come back in the books. But like...
Yeah. Do you think he will?
Yeah, I think a lot of people assume that he will come back, but he will be basically not really John anymore. Like, that's because that's basically how Beric is in the books too. Like, he says that like when he came back, it's like he lost a big part of himself in the process, basically. And again, like, just based on George's other stuff and the way that these things tend to go, I would say that it's like he's leaving it intentionally vague as like a means to like create some kind of mystery. He's kind of like Tom Bombadilling it a little bit. And like, but I don't think that he would say that like the Fire Priest people, like the agents of R'hllor, like could consistently just like raise the dead all the time. Like it's something that they have like by some quirk of nature have like figured out how to do on occasion or something like that. Does that make sense? It's like,
I mean, I would imagine that they wouldn't have that much control over whether or not it happened at all. Like, either the being decides to do that, like, for its own reasons, or it doesn't.
Yes, yeah, if the being is even there.
But like, even there.
In Gambo and in Ice and Fire, like, the one being that has the most like probability of like this one is real is R'hllor. Like, that's the one that has the most things that people have like demonstrated that, like, you know, the Lord of Light having power, right? But the first time that you get like inside of one of their heads, it's all about how like a bunch of the stuff that people think is like fantastic and unnatural or whatever is just like tricks. And like the one crazy big magic thing in Game of Thrones is like warging and skin changing and stuff. Like, that's the one that it's like, that one is the...
But that's like universal consciousness.
Exactly. Now you get it. It's like, it's like, it's doing that thing where it's like in his stuff, when it becomes like an actual, you get into like superpower territory, that's what he's always doing. It's like, you know, some kind of tapping into the fact that everything is one thing, and like the blending of consciousness and the moving of your consciousness from one place to another and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, I put my sign down next to the Site of Grace, Stormhill Shack, the one next to the lady. who.
So is
we're gonna
that
try to get...
actually Miranda, or are we gonna do something else?
No, we gotta go do Margit, right?
Yeah, we can do Margit.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And maybe if we have a little extra time.
I am currently fighting the Erd Tree avatar because I just started it by myself while you were talking about Game of Thrones stuff. And so I'm gonna get that real quick. I really like this fight, specifically because of how it is a riff on Asylum Demon in Dark Souls 1. Like, it's just one of those, not necessarily fan service, but more like a adds flavor if you know what it is drawing from, that I really enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they find a way to make it like newly difficult. It's not a super difficult fight, but it's not Asylum Demon.
Yeah, I think it would maybe feel more difficult if you didn't have to fight them so often. Like, because you fight quite a lot of them, you kind of get to the point. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Again, stuck on World Challenge. Oh man, I'm gonna kill this Erd Tree.
This is another great example. So, like, Ted says, Game of Thrones wise, who's the Onion Knight in this game? I don't know that really, but I will say that this like demonstrates another really great point about like Game of Thrones and like supernatural and religious and divinity and stuff like that, like religion and divinity and stuff. So like Davos, right? He's like, even though he hangs out with those R'hllor people, he like keeps the seven, right? He keeps like the Catholic analog, where he's like, oh, I pray to the seven, whatever. And Davos always talks about how he's like, I'm just really lucky, and the gods like shine on me, and that's why I'm able to survive and do all this stuff, right? And even when you are reading his chapters, like from his point of view, he thinks this too. He's like, yeah, I'm lucky, and the gods like me, and they favor me for some reason. I don't know why, but that's why they've been able to like get to this station and survive all this time. But while he's thinking that, you see him doing stuff like preparing his ship in a certain way that would like make him survive the Blackwater, or like wearing armor that would let him swim if he needed to. And then like when he gets knocked off the ship, he thinks immediately to like get his helmet off and get his shoes off so that he can swim.
It's human ingenuity, but given God's being given credit for it. There's a line in Raising the Sun, which I teach a lot, where the character Bernitha says that she's tired of God getting credit for what humans do with their own stubborn motivation.
So like, and I think that George R. R. Martin, with a character like Davos, and the other one is like Brienne. Like, Brienne is another character who has like legitimate religious conviction and is like a good person still, right? And both of them, I think what George is doing is being like, I think he is saying that like to someone like that who is a believer, they would attribute that, their preparedness and their ingenuity and stuff like that to, if not like directly a higher power, then something along those lines. But it's just interesting to see, like, I don't know, a lot of his stories were way more critical of religion than Game of Thrones is, and I think that, Song of Ice and Fire, and I think that Ice and Fire is very critical of religion, like extremely.
Yeah, the way that the show portrays it, like it kind of leaves room for you to think either thing about it. Yeah.
But I think that a lot of that is kind of just whether you want to call it like adaptive change or just kind of a misinterpretation of parts of the text, is kind of like here and there with the show to me. Like, some of it I think it is like genuine adaptation stuff going on, and some of it kind of comes across more to me that like, oh, you kind of didn't get the point of that because it's a little more subtextual or whatever.
Do you want to see a George R. R. Martin penned Elden Ring piece of literature?
I mean, I would like to see a George R. R. Martin penned Winds of Winter.
That's true. Wait, why did you return to your world?
I didn't. I got a connection error.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm standing in the Stormhill Shack, which you can tell it has had a tough time here on the Stormhill.
Yeah.
And there is a girl who is supposed to be in here, who's unfortunately not in here because, we've messed up NPC quest lines by the second stream of the series. It turns out if you like go the roundabout way around Stormveil Castle and get into Liurnia, she moves. So she's already in the Round Table hold.
You just goes to Round Table. Yeah.
This character is awesome, Roderica. She is one of my favorite characters in the game.
She's great.
I'm going to try my best to describe what she does here for people who have not played the game. I know there are people who have not played the game watching stream.
Just real quickly, my sign is down next to that fire.
Cool.
It should be, yeah.
So she is kind of like almost dressed like Red Riding Hood or something. She has a little red hood she's wearing. And she's a pilgrim. She's come here on religious pilgrimage. And she explains that she's come with her compatriots who are all here to do the same sacred thing, which is to have their limbs chopped off. So, and in some cases have their heads chopped off, so that they will then like go through a metamorphosis and be reborn as something called a chrysalid, which, if you pay close attention looking for that later on in the game, you will find no other references to it suggesting that it is not a real thing. And what you actually learn is once you get into Stormveil Castle where she is headed, that, people are just having their limbs chopped off by Godric, the guy who's posted up here. And so you put two and two together, you connect the dots. Godric has like kind of invented a religion as propaganda
going on.
Yeah, as propaganda to like get people to like hand him their arms and legs and stuff. So we are headed towards Stormveil Castle right now. Roderica's story we will kind of pick back up on later. I love her story arc so much, but we're just kind of going through the Stormveil Gate and we're going to be met by Margit.
I would love if you read stuff out of Dream Songs for us to kind of like hash over the.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Like
I could have like a weekly George R. R. Martin short story review.
Like which ones did you read and what did you think of them and stuff? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I could not do that with a novel, but I could do that with short stories.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what like kind of like got me with him, and the reason I was able to kind of just consume so much of his stuff is because it's not like most of it isn't like book length, It's like pretty short.
And the Thrones books or the Ice and Fire books are really long books.
They are.
Though I guess fantasy people have a different definition of really long books.
Yeah. I'm coming. I got held up fighting guys.
I believe we are all dead. Okay,
already dead.
I think I can probably do this fight with 3 Estus, but if not,
okay,
we're right here. All right, Margit.
Here's the guy.
Fights.
Love that this guy kind of got this like interesting little icon status because he was like smacking people down so hard like at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, in the network tests. And also, like the game directs you here first thing. We only didn't go first thing because we are smart and know what we're doing.
He's also like the first boss with a cutscene and stuff. And he's got some good quotes.
He has some great quotes. Spurred by your foolish ambition.
Yeah.
Spurred by the flame of your foolish ambition.
I just got like a cane and like a ripped up old cape.
He's going caveman mode.
Yeah.
We're all caveman here.
He's in his Tomba era.
Okay, let's go. You gonna move?
Me?
He is frozen.
And that's because I'm not loaded in yet.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Weird. smacked in the face.
Watch out. Oh. I love how this move looks.
It has a great rhythm to it.
Yeah.
It's always been really easy for me to dodge just because of how well animated it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Whoop.
Yeah.
Got him.
There it is.
Woo!
Nice.
Great enemy
fell.
Wait, okay. I didn't know that your character like puts on a little hat when he does that. Oh, that's the item version of the camouflage.
It's got like
right?
the mimic veil.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He put like on a veil and it makes him nope out. Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll probably be about the end of tonight's stream. Did you want to do anything else? We still have like 15 minutes till 10.
I think that's a good enough spot. Yeah. We can just call it a W there and just be happy we were able to stream.
Absolutely. I'm glad the stream worked after a little while of worrying that it would not. I guess between last week's stream and this week's stream, we've worked out all the kinks, crossing our fingers. But I'm currently looking at what we're going to be doing next week, which is a very, very cool Legacy Dungeon, Stormvale Castle. This is just a heck of a level. Like, I'm so excited to play through it. Just like old times, going through the big old Dark Souls levels.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be it. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.